Hello, can you see or hear me? Can you hear me? Let's start over kya? No, we already started. Yes, you can. Good. So, is the voice okay? There's no problem with the voice. Hello Harshit. Hello Pratik. So, today we are going to do Sequelize. So, initially I thought in our course we'll cover MongoDB. But then when I was going through this developer survey yesterday, and I had a lot of chat with other people also. So if you know this developer survey, Stack Overflow, this talks about databases, and in the database thing it says that SQL is being used the most. It seems somewhere it is there, I don't know where it is. So 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 while going through all of this, I thought, maybe we should try SQL in the course rather than MongoDB. Even though MongoDB is much easier to get started and get working, I think SQL looks like it's much in demand. So 2019, 2020, 2020 SQL. So what I wanted to show you, I'm not getting that thing. Where is the result latest? No. Is it here? Yes, somewhere here. No. Anyway, so youth project says my students face. Who is your student? My student face problems with. The link is in Discord. Yeah, even I had the link. I'm not able to find it now. Anyway, so the whole point was, if we go through the survey, you visit page it twice. This is 2019. I would have visited yesterday also. This is not the one. Anyway, so the whole point of it was that SQL is being used a lot in many companies. So then I started looking into how to use SQL with Node.js, and then I came into this, which is youth says, someone in the chat is saying, I also do teach small coaching, and he needs help in written in a big function written in Node.js because of asynchronous behavior. Maybe use await more rather than callbacks. I think that should solve the problem. Some irrelevant chat just puts you off. Anyway, so what I was saying is Sequelize is basically a promise based or whatever. It's a Node.js ORM. For people who don't know what ORM it is, it's basically object relational mapper, which means in layman term that it makes your database as an object so that you can do queries on it, write mutations on it, you change the behavior of that object like it's a programming object. So it maps your database table to a programming object. That's why it says object relational mapper. Good thing which I really liked about Sequelize is if you learn Sequelize, you can work with Postgres, MySQL, MariaDB, Sqlite, and Microsoft SQL Server. Now the amazing part about this is if you go through the survey, I am not able to find the survey link now. Oh, did I post it somewhere? Maybe. So if you go to the survey, you will see that these are like the the Postgres, MySQL, and Microsoft SQL Server are like the top most demand SQL Server. So basically, if you run this, if you learn this, you will learn anything. So then I went into the documentation. It seems very easy actually. So I thought I'll set it up, but when I was going to set it up, I thought why not stream it. So that's how this session started. So Sudarshan says in the chat that how Mongoose is for MongoDB, Sequelize is for SQL database. Yeah, but if people don't know what Mongoose is for MongoDB, also MongoDB is like a document store anyway, so that's not hard to wrap your head around. But thinking of a SQL table as an object, it it might take some time. Anyway, so whatever is running, let me quit that and I'll try to get started. So this session won't be what to say, I don't know, like won't be a lot interesting because this is more about trying Sequelize. I don't see a lot of challenge here. We are not trying to make something, but what I'm trying to do is maybe make like a small API and see how Sequelize works around it. So let's see. Let's get started. Okay. So now I'll do something called trying Sequelize and then get into it. And then maybe I'll do a git init. Okay, then I'll do npm init, just initializing it. Package name fine Sequelize, trial and error. Entry point index.js. I want server.js to be the entry point. Test command nothing. Git repository, haven't made it yet, so let it be. Keywords is SQL, Sequelize, author Tanay Pratap, MIT. Yes, so this is there. Now let's open this. Okay, so now it's here. We have a package.json file which looks good. Your git is initialized, which is here. Now we want Sequelize here. Okay, what next? Question is in the chat. This is going to be interesting. I was just planning to get started with building APIs and build some basic API. Thank you, Vikrant, for not putting a lot of pressure on me. So it says quick example is this, but we'll try this example only because this has Sqlite in-memory database, so we don't need a database to be set up, which is pretty good to get started. It says supports Node v10, so maybe when you are doing this, if you are doing this right now, then check that your Node version is above 10. So mine is above 10. Okay. What next? Nothing else. So it says getting started, npm install this, and then npm install SQLite 3, and then we should be good to go. You can use the dot authenticate, tips for reading the doc. Okay, you can try to experiment with the other dialects which are harder to set up. You can use the Sequelize SSCCE. This is something I don't know. I tried going here, but I couldn't find anything interesting. It says create a PR and then run your Sequelize with something. I mean, it looks like a playground, doesn't behave like a playground. So we'll try something basic. Let's do this. Let me open this. Let me install it. ls. Where is it? cd dev trying Sequelize. Let's install it. What are we trying to solve with Sequelize? Good question, Anirudh. So So suppose you have an app, right? Suppose you have, like, for say example, you have a to-do app, you have an expense app which we made in the course, right? I want to save that data somewhere, right? How will you save that data? So there are a few ways, right? Either you take that data, put it on server, and then save that data in a file, or what you can do is you can, like, create a database and then save that data in the database so that it's easy to retrieve, easy to do operations on it. So with Sequelize, we are trying to talk to a database using Node.js. That's what we are trying. Does that answer your question, Anirudh? Anirudh Jwala. Okay, so let me know if you have more questions. So I want to try this. npm install npm I mine -s Sequelize. Okay, let's see if this works out. And it says got it. So this is there now. Now we want good thing is, if you can work with one thing, say SQLite 3 tomorrow, you want to upgrade your database to MySQL or a Postgres, you can do it very easily. So npm I -s Sequelite 3. So Janil in the chat is asking whether Sequelize is a framework or a library or a language. Okay, so here is how you identify framework, library, or language. Language is when you have to write in a new language. Framework is when you have to write in a language which you know, but inside constraint, like you put your code inside the framework, while library is something which you use and you write your code the way you want to write it. So in this case, Janil, Sequelize is a library. It's not a framework because it does not give you, like, if you see Angular, right, that's a framework because you have to do a bit of work to write your code around it. So I think it should be classified. So what says, okay, so SQLite 3 is defined. Now let's say const Sequelize equals require Sequelize. I also want nodemon, so let me install nodemon. Okay, option 1 is passing a connection URI. Shivam says, if I am comfort with MongoDB, then is it required to learn SQL database? No, it's not required. Won't hurt either if you know SQL. In a lot of places SQL is used, so knowing the query or knowing what it is would not harm you. It's a good addition to have, but don't sweat on it. Okay, so we have things ready. Let's server.firetouch server.js. Now let's see, server.js is here, node module is here. We need to echo node module to git ignore so that we can ignore this. Yes, that is done. We also need to define a script here to run my server, nodemon server.js. Now I just need to do console.log. Hey, the server is running. npm run start or npm start. Hey, the server is running. Let me see if it restarts. Running, is it? It's not. Oh, because I didn't save it. Save it. Yes. So my server is up. Questions. What Microsoft apps use in terms of database is NoSQL or SQL? Microsoft is a big company, it uses different stuff, but somewhere we use Microsoft SQL Server, somewhere we use Cosmos DB. It depends from projects to projects, backend to backend. There's no one set of thing which people are using. Anyway, so this is fine. So let's try this. Const Sequelize requires Sequelize. Okay, let's try this. Now if you are following along later, don't, I would say never copy paste, always type so that you learn, but I am doing it to save my time. So this is a hypocrisy at best. I'm telling something but I'm not doing the same thing. But you can use the authenticate function to test if the connection is okay. Acha, let's see this. I should type it out. In the interest of time, I am not doing it anyway. So let's see if this is working. If I save it, it says await is only valid in async function. Okay. So if I say function init async function init command x init db. Now I need to call the function. Let's see if this. Okay, so it says connection has been established successfully, which means we are connected to database. Now you would ask, where is the database? The database is in memory. Okay, so every time it restarts, it will go away. We need to fix that. Okay, wow, so many questions. Can you explain where to use SQLDB and where no SQLDB? Don't know, man. Long question, dude. Some other time maybe. If I am comfort with MongoDB, is it required to learn SQL database? No. Put inside iffy. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, this works right. No, the reason I am not putting it in iffy is, first of all, I don't remember the syntax for it. Maybe it's something like this. I don't remember. Second thing is, I do this every time because when the code grows, I want to extract it to a new file like this. So much easier for me to know what's happening when happening, but not now. Undo into files. Yes, just wanted to show it that this is how I do this, but okay, so anyway, so the database is connected. This message is hold for review. Hey Akul, I was just joking, dude. You took it seriously. Kya yaar? So Manjot, your question basically when to use SQL and when to use NoSQL. It's a long thing to understand, but if you have to go with, like, if you're a front-end developer, you're developing an app, use whatever you want to use. It's not like going to break something right now. People use whichever thing they want to use. But there's one key difference which you need to know, is that there's something called acid properties in DBMS, which you should know, which you can get from MySQL very easily, but if you try to get this in MongoDB, it would be tough, I guess. So it's not there. Drops acid. What the problem with that is, if you want to have like a transaction kind of thing, then use MySQL. But if you have something wherein the transaction correctness doesn't matter, like a Facebook, then use MongoDB because it's distributed and the database can sync over time. But Please send the links in chat. Hey, who's the note taker for today's class? If I'm sending the links in chat, I want a note taker for this. So what's the session? Session is trying Sequelize. Okay, copy. Who's going to be the no? I can be the one again. Thank you, Vikrant. So nice of you. So here it is. We are going to try Sequelize. Sequelize, submit new issue. Okay, now this is your first link. This is Mayaloshifu. This is your getting started. What other link do you need? Did I try any other link? I don't think so. Anyway, so testing the connection, closing the connection, testing the connection. This is done. Let's try saving something. I just want to try one thing. Is the problem here is, I'll tell you what the issue is. Issue is whenever you save something, this will create a new database and then you will lose data. So we'll fix that. But let's first Sam says, hey Sam, installing, getting started. So core concepts, home. There was this example, right? I want to try this example. So class user extends model. Okay, so model is something there which data types. Okay, and then class user extends model, user init, username and birthday. Okay, and the model name would be user. Okay, okay, so then you do Sequelize.sync and then you do Jane await user dot create. Just trying to do it in iffy because you want to create it. Console.log Jane to JSON. Ooh, there is so much in this piece of code. So many things actually. There's something called Sequelize.sync, which if you read the documentation, it will tell you that it flushes things to the database. So anytime you try to do something with the model on the Sequelize, then it will put it to database. And then you have, this is pretty okay, user.create, you create something, and then you have console log Jane to JSON, which is basically the object which is returned. It has a JSON property on it, to JSON property, which it will create, and there are different data types. There is string, there is date, and model is something which you need to create. So basically this code sums up a lot many things. Do you want to try this? Let's try this. I mean, what is it anyway going to take? Let's try this. Okay, but this will not help a lot anyway. So let's do this. It says class user extend model. It will say model is not there. So first let's define model and data type, right? Data types is it? Yes. Okay, so this should work now. Let's see. Error? No error. So it says username is Jane Doe, birthday created at. See, these two fields came for free, updated at and created at. Now if you see, Pratik is saying, I don't know why I am not able to send message. I can see you just send message, right, Pratik? So what was I saying? Move panel right. So now if we suppose we want to fetch this data now. So how do I fetch this data from database? So model querying basics. Let's see this simple insert query. User.create, we did that. Select query, user.findAll, and it will give okay, to select only some attributes you can use the attributes option. Why? Nice. So then you do users dot every. Oh, so you have like everything. There's so much to learn, right? You have to, like, it's not like, why can't we use just users dot map? Why is user not a array of users? It would have been easy, but anyway. So it says find all user await user find all user instance of user true json dot stringify users null. Okay, so let's do this. Let's create one more user here and then try to, or maybe just try to find all users. Now if I go here and copy this, I found that developers loved Redis. Okay, so suppose this is your database. This is tricky. So if I put it here, options, okay, so if I put it here, so I need the database, then there is user.init, which is already should be there. Model name is user, and then if you go to users, user.find all, then it should console.log. But if this works, it means it's saving the Jane Doe in between the refreshes. It doesn't work because it says await can be only in this, so we do this again. We do this and then we call it. Wow. What am I doing? Async and take this entire thing here and then this. Okay, find all users. What is the problem? There shouldn't be any issue, but there looks like it is having something which is causing the problem. It says async breaks is not a function. What is not a function? Console.log. This is here, then this is this. What's wrong? Can you please explain async and await in brief? If it is so difficult to write down following live, I found that developers loved Redis. Okay, first let's see what's the problem is, then we'll answer some questions. What is the problem? It says await user not find all, but it's breaking here. Let me just do it. Maybe the iffy thing is effing it off. No, but it's same. User find out all console.log. What's the error? It says line number 36 here. Why? Maybe. Yes, that was the problem. That's the problem with ifs, is if you don't put the semicolon, the line will not terminate and then it will create a problem. Anyway, so if I have created this before, and let me just clean exit. Connection has been established successfully. No such table. Sequelize database error because there is no such table. Okay, so suppose if I do this, await Sequelize.sync. I'm coming to your questions, give me 1 second. Trying something. Yeah, so you see what the problem is. This is what I was trying to show. I created it in the previous program, but when I want to access it again, it's not there. Because why is this? This is because this is in memory, so it's getting created every time we every time we restart the app, and nodemon is restarting that app, right, every time. So that's the problem. Let's see what the question says. It is so difficult to write down following live. Don't write down, just listen to this, see what's happening. Maybe can you please explain async and await in brief? Can explain. So basically what happens is, if you have something which returns a promise, say const equals to something, const abc equals something which returns a promise. Okay, now if you have something like this, now you can do something like abc dot then, and then give it a callback function, right? Or you can do this, await, and now abc will have the value which you would have in the callback. So in the callback you would have something like this, but if you don't know promises, then it's hard to explain. But suppose this was your response, so you will have something here, and you can do console.log response. When you do await, you get this response directly here. So this you can write it like response. So basically you don't have to give callback. Your code looks linear, even though it's still asynchronous. It does this. That's what this is. I hope this explains. I mean, it would take some time if you don't know the promise thing around it. But see what this is doing is user.findAll returns a promise. Actually, I can show this to you. Find all. It says where find all model t. Say here it says the return type is promise. It returns the promise, which would then resolve to return a user object. But if you see the users here, it is saying user object. So what await is doing is it's saying, hey, until the promise is resolved, I'll keep it here, and then when the promise gets resolved, I'll assign this value to users. Does make sense, Purva? Thanks, I understood. Thank you, Purva, for being nice. Why are we calling async and inside await? Async kya bol rahi hai? Why are we calling async and inside await async function? I don't get your question, Harshit. Kaushal says hello Kaushal. So basically our retrieval and save is working. Now here's another thing. If I remove this, so you see all users is empty, but if I remove this and save this, now you start getting users. You say, oh my god, or how is this happening? Like why? Like what? And this is happening because both these functions are async functions, even though it's written above and top, like below and above, whatever you say. Like the order of this doesn't matter actually when the functions are async. So this is running first. It saves it creates the user, and then user.findAll goes and gets the user. So that's why even if it's below, even if creation is below finding, it's working. That's why I had to take it away. I had to do this to show that all users is returning null. That makes sense. What I meant was why do we call async function inside async function? Yeah, Akul answered your question, because await is valid only inside an async function. That's why. Excuse me. So select is working. Harshit, no problem. Yeah, you can actually put your question in Hindi also. I don't mind, as long as I understand. I'll answer it in English or Hindi. Don't worry about this. Like English is just a language. Don't worry about it. So we found out this insert. We found out the select, where and all we can try. But before that, I want to save this data. So to save that data, I want Sequelize to store its Sqlite to store in file. How to do that? Can store no. So let me see. SQLite 3 file database. Database file format. What is this? Let's go to SQLite now. Let's go to the base documentation, overview, programming, home. Wow, this looks so. Getting started. Create a new database. At a shell or DOS prompt, enter SQLite 3 test.db. Write program that uses database. This will create a new database named test.db. Okay. Enter SQL commands at the prompt to create and populate the new database. Additional documentation is available here. Swapnadeep says the data is from the log message of create. Which one? This one, huh? Create table if not exists. Yep, you are right. Let me see how to pass database as a file. Okay, SQLite 3 Sequelize file example. Let's see if this can. Indian Express Japan. Oh, I have visited this before, so this should work. Okay, building the contacts management UI. My god, UI and all I don't want. I know how to build UI. Oh, bhai sahab, scaffolding the API, Sequelize init. Okay, it's over, is it? Node modules, Sqlite database.sqlite.schema, db migrate. My god, simple answer nahi dete log. If you ask for something, they'll give you something else. Seed all, models, API contacts. Hey, GitHub account. Server.js. Body, contact, DB, require models, apps, press, static. Where is the DB initialization in this? Nobody knows. I also don't know. Press our view. Okay, this is in view. That shouldn't be a problem, but where is the DB? JSON में तो नहीं होगा. Says production is in database.sqlite 3, database.sqlite 3, but how do I pass that to the database? Is it in the models file? I don't know. Doesn't look like. Is it in migrations, seeders? I don't know what seeders are. Nah. Migrations. Nah. Don't know. Run migrations and seed all. Okay. Create contact. My god, what is this? So if I want to store DB in SQLite tutorial with designing the database, creating the database, so I'm going to cheat. I know there is one answer which I have seen previously. If it loads, I can show it to you, but I think here, all you need is new SQLite. Instead of memory, you should be able to pass a file name. That's all. It's here, right? Passing parameters separately. Dialect is SQLite. Storage is path to database.sqlite. We will try this. So dialect is Talking Tom songs. Hide. Talking Tom, why are you ruining my live stream? Hide user on this channel. So Talking Tom is hidden now. Dialect. Okay. Let's copy this. Let's paste this. I don't want it here. I don't want it here. I want say somewhere. If the file does not exist, will they create the file? I don't know. / database.sqlite. Let's see. This will tell. Error. Unable to open database file. So it will not create the file. That's the answer. Okay. Delete. Yeah, this is now, it's gone out of Sequelize. It's about now it's here. Database.sqlite because it's do not want to open. Anyway, so this serves my purpose, but it says there's no ID still, so let me create the user first. So what I'll do is find all users. I'll say I don't want to find the users, so this will have nothing, but I want to create the user. And then, oh my god, okay like, what did I break? So now the user is here, Jane is here. If I just find the user now, then it should work. Yes, this is what I wanted to do. Questions? No questions? Cool. So we basically figured it out. We figured the find all user thing, and we figured out the creation of users, right? This is what we want. I mean, this is what I wanted. What this tells me is that now database.sqlite holds the data, which is pretty good. Other thing is now we can create APIs around it. We can use app, express and all to do it. And that's not the point of this exploration because I know how to do it in Express, so won't make much sense. Let me try something. Terminology, tip for reading new database versus model basics, model querying. Oh my god, dropping tables. This is all fine. Oh, you can create UUIDs also. Type is a database, data type.UUID. Okay. This might be stupid, but can I host this database online? No, this is not stupid. This is actually, this people do this. You can host this online, yeah, because it's just a file, right? So suppose you want to do something like that, you go to code Sandbox, and then you create a sandbox for just Node HTTP server. Okay, let's try this. So okay, so say this is your this is your server, right? So now you can create a server object is there. So if I just copy this entire file and put it say here, it won't work because I have not got the dependencies, which should be where here. So if I get the dependencies, which is what, Sequelize and SQLite 3, Sequelize, yes, if we get this, and then we get the SQLite 3, then we get the Sequelize we have got, right, and then we get the SQLite 3. Is this the one? I don't think this is the one. Is this the one? SQLite 3 4.2.0, yes. So if you get both of these, and then this is a hello world. You want this code Sandbox, huh? Let me save this. This should be exploring. What is this? Exploring. What is the Sequelize? So now if I copy and paste Vikrant, you can put the link in there. So your hello world is working right now. Cool. So let's do something on this. Let's put this entire code here. My god, what happened? Command, yeah, we command AC v, if that is here, and if I save it, let's close this. Let's watch the error. There's no error, but it's not working either. Save it. Let me refresh it. This is the problem with code sandbox. The node thing doesn't work really well. See, it's not creating the file. That's the problem. It should create this database.sqlite file, which it's not creating. So if I have to do that, I'll do that. Is it in source? Source same. So rename to database.sqlite. Database.sqlite, right? Sqlite. So it has created this file now. Created at user as user. Very nice. Expecting good. Now let's move this. Let's go here. I'm just how to decide whether library is good enough to use a production code or not. There are so many new libraries out there. For that, you have to do some research. You need to find out what other people are using. Are there too many issues? A lot of those things. Find all user. There are no user. Okay, cool, no problem. Now let me create a user for you. Creating the user. Every time. Why? So now you will have a user created. Jane Doe. Very nice. Very nice. And if I then if I find all the users, it should tell me users are there. Very nice. Now suppose I want to, instead of rest.write hello world, I want it to, I can do this, right? Like finding the user, function find me the user, and then you say this is an async function, and then you do await all of this, command C, and then you say let me remove this, and now you say const users, you remove all of this, or you just say json.stringify command X return this. Now if I call this function here, rest.write ke thoda pehle, if I call this function here, await find me the user. See Purva, now I'll use this await nicely. Const users equals this, or maybe this is like a users string, it's okay, users hello world comma, okay, so I'll just say users. If this works, then it should work. It's not working. Why? Crashed, waiting for file change to get restarted. But what went wrong? My god, let me restart this. Had trouble connecting to the server. Okay, then I try creating two users, which are the adds user or replace whole DB file. It won't replace the whole DB file, but we can check that. That shouldn't happen. Await find me the user. Oh, because this is a async function, not an async function. So all you have to do is say async here, and this should work. Connection has been established now. Very nice. So you go to the server. Tada! If anybody goes to this server right now, it will give you the user. So let me show it to you like this. If I am here, see, we created a web server, HTTP web server, which gives you all the users. So to answer whoever asked, I think Harshit asked whether we can use this as a database. Superb, we can use it. Harshit says this is awesome. Thank you, Harshit, for the question. Okay, so it says create server, await function request. Now I don't know the Node server really well, but if we wanted to do this with Express, we could have created routes here, and then on every route we can do different things. But this is what I wanted to try. Now, what was this guy saying? Akul was saying try to create one more user. Chalo, let's try that. Instead of Jane Doe, I want to create, say, Tanay Pratap. Birthday is 1990, 620 ke jagah 630. Okay, and instead of Jane, I want my name. So this should be Tanay Pratap. And again, this problem. Actually, the comment. Don't make that mistake. So let's see. If I save this, it works. It has Tanay Pratap, and it has nothing else. Why? ID2. Let me try this. It has both Jane Doe and it had Tanay Pratap only because it created it that time. This creating the user ran, right? So now you have both of these things. So that's how your database is working, right? You want to change something, you can change something. We can create that, but we are already 1 hour into this session. We can try this with Express in the next session. Let me see how many of you are here right now. 23 people. That's nice, man. Awesome. How many of you dropped? 10 are here. Good. So nice. We had good exploration of Sequelize. This works really well. Querying would be same. We have to try this with Express server, but this is what we'll try in our. This is what now we'll use in our Learn Coding free course. The course which is going on. When we reach Express and then when we reach database, we'll use Sequelize there, and that's what I was trying. That's why I was trying this. So that's cool. Maybe we'll do one more session wherein I have like a API in my mind ready to try these things more. But I think this was awesome till now. So like the video, subscribe if you have not subscribed, and do more courses around it. Thank you for joining, everyone. This was great. Bye bye.